Welcome everybody back to day two. Thank you again so much. Small recap on yesterday was just pointing each other back to the spiritual nature of life, the deep space within. Um, Today is going to be slightly different than what most would consider a spiritual teaching because I want to talk about something that in my mind is very important to the spiritual nature of life, and that's our identity. Like, what is the purpose of us having identities? Like we have all this difficult time with it and we fight it so much and we always want to change it. And I'm looking to be new. I'm looking to be better. I'm looking to grow. I'm looking to this. I'm looking. Then what is the purpose of it? Why do we have it? What does it say about us? What do we do? And that's actually a great segue to talk about identities in the frame of ready or not. I get in, I don't know if it was a message, Facebook message, a text or what, but I get this message that Sharon reached out to me and said she needed to talk. And we get on the call. And you know that listening thing we do, right? We let them talk and we listen. And Sharon started telling me a story about being in danger in her community because of civil wars and things that were at play. And it was some other stuff. So I don't want to, make the story over dramatic, but it was very intense. And I was like, wait, I'm in Los Angeles. She was like, I know, but what can you like? You got anything? And I was like, and her husband Rob said something like I don't know what it was he said, and it clicked for me. Okay, settle down. All right, what I know is protection. Tell me what the area looks like. We got this bridge. Okay, we're gonna put somebody on the other side of the bridge with a radio. They're gonna call back to let everybody know so we know how much time we got. Sharon at the time was on the news. She had a spot on the news where she was talking or on TV. And it was like, don't stop doing that. Let the principles go through the airwaves. Don't stop doing that. We started helping the mothers, or Sharon at least started helping the mothers understand that now sons and husbands were going to be going out to do the protection so they could sleep well at night. And all this was done over Zoom. We created the entire plan of how to protect their neighborhood on Zoom that turned into a wonderful relationship. Uh, no lives lost, no issues or problems. Then came other programs like as a result of that. But my point is, we weren't ready. We never could have prepared for anything like that. But there are identities in which we have experienced in our lives that when they're not fixed as a block and just fluid as an ability to move through you. So for instance, my 21 years of being a protection agent with my love for wanting to help someone, it flowed through where I could go, okay, wait a minute. Who cares if she's in another place, I'm in another place? Describe to me what it is. Let's just go back to it. And they felt good and I felt good and it worked. And I think Rob even ended up mentioning that most of the guys had military experience. So then it went to a shorthand talk with them. And before you know it, we was through the experience. And that is why I choose to talk about identities because I don't want them disregarded. There are things we have done. Okay, it's like I love the spiritual nature of life, but I love the spiritual nature of life because it informs my human experience. I love being human. I love like friends and playing basketball. I love that stuff. Now, to do all that, I need an identity. I have to have some clothes on the formless soul. You know, I have to put some on. And for me, identities are like the clothing we wear. You have your style, I have mine. We tend to think these identities are fixed clothes seared on us that we can't take off. Not true. Even tattoos you can get off now, I hear. Like it's not fixed, it's fluid. And even if you were there for a moment, like I only stayed in sports management for 6 months. But boy, have I helped a lot of people in random conversations just because of that 6 months of knowing what sports management did. Not an identity I wear, not a hat or anything. It's just something I experienced. I put the data in what I call my cloud, And if it comes up for use, it comes up. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Hearing Ellen's document was cool because it was like, yeah, I just like, I love connecting and doing this. And that's the identity I've chosen. I don't hide any of them in a sense, but I explain them much differently. People go, well, that should anger you. You're a veteran. I go, no, it doesn't. They was like, well, which side are you on? I'm like, the whole side. And they was like, what? I was like, the whole side. Because when they shot and bombed at me and my teammates, they didn't stop and ask, are you a Democrat or a Republican? They fired upon us for representing the United States of America, period. And so it was like, how could I ever choose between both, which I've represented and almost died for? So what I need is the system to work. Oh, you shouldn't like this because you're Black. Oh, really? Okay. You shouldn't like this because you're a man, or you shouldn't put up with that because you're from the South, or you're in an interracial marriage, or it was like, oh wow, y'all got a lot of thoughts about what I do, what I like, but it's your identity. Your identity is only there to help you navigate your understanding of this love of life to those you get to interact with. That's it. That's it. And there are some things I have been identified before that I don't like. Like there was several years of my life that bigot could have been a readily fixed identity because I was that. I was definitely at one point in my life someone who shut off other voices so I could feel safe. Like don't say that because I need to feel. I don't want to be uncomfortable. So you got to shut yourself down. Like I had that in me too for a long time. Um, but now that makes no sense. I feel more safer in this world and more people willing to share what they really feel like inside, what they really feel like. Not what they think I want to hear or the next person to them wants to hear, but what they want to hear. And those identities just help us express that. Some of them we don't even get a choice on our genders. We came out. We could choose now, but originally it just we popped, right? Religion for some you don't get to choose when you're little in the South at least. Your mama say you're gonna be Baptist, you're gonna be Baptist, period. So, but it's all of those are just different ways that allows people to connect a little bit faster, different ways for us to put um, information in order so we can do the things that we love. All the things that Ellen talked about in the document. The identities help others see that. Now, the identities are on top of the spirit, in my opinion. I'll explain that way. So if I'm having a problem with the identity, I can go back to the place that the identity dissolves and then come back. It's kind of like you know, let's say I want to do an ice sculpture. I got this big block of ice. I start doing the sculpture and it's not the one I want. Okay. Melt the ice, refreeze it, blocks up. That's the identity in a sense. Melt it down. If it still needs to be there, cool. Freeze it again and go back to it. If it doesn't, like Monique said yesterday, there's no reason we should be running around screaming at people like we're still law enforcement officers. We're not. Those identities, while they will yield some wisdom for us to use, they are not the identities that lead our existence of life anymore. And I think a lot of people could look at their life and as we said earlier, update a little to go, wait a minute, maybe all the rules, techniques, and things that I'm using, if I look at my life today, are all of these needed? Not valid. They're all valid because at some point you grab them to protect yourself. I'm asking, are they still needed? Do you still need them today? And if so, cool. And if not, then let's look at putting it away and seeing what other identity pops up. There's a full on sale on identities. The warehouse I get them from, you buy one, you get 1,000,000 for free. It's like you can change it upon change it upon change it when you want. It's not fixed. This is fluid. And if you're okay with that, that fluidness is what builds solid structure. That fluidness is what builds trusting relationships, loving containers, things like that. And that's how I feel the importance of the identity, because it is the things that people see before they first interact. And most of the world we deal with do deal from the outside in. To them, the outside external circumstances are what's causing how they feel. And I understand that because I lived it like that too. Just know it's different now. And so all of the identities that I have an interest in presenting are ones that stand as gateways for people to see something different. I don't really have a identity of a tough guy anymore. Like I used to want it. I used to want people to know how much training and combat training and guns I got and fighting I'd done, in hopes that they would be scared of me not to, want to harm me. Not an identity I need. Don't even carry a gun now. The other day, I asked my wife, like, do you know where the guns are? She's like, yeah, I put them away like last year. And I was like, oh, wow, I haven't even seen it yet. That's the identities I want to present. I want the identity presented that when I make a mistake for cutting someone off in traffic, I apologize. That's on me, my bad. I'm sorry. And keep it moving. That's the identity I want to show up with, or that I tend to show up with. But my identity is informed from my spiritual nature, not my spiritual nature is informed from what I've chosen as my identity. And that'll be how I end today, is ensure that any identity you wear is informed by that which you call the oneness of life, universal mind, your God. Just make sure how you are experiencing your life is exactly how you want, not what anybody else offered for you, told you was possible, what you want, and see where that leads.